well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. To serve our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later, and deliver those winners, professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Plays. So let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. With us is Alex Smart with us, Big Al McMordie, Millz Young, Tony Brown from Vegas, and Wayne Scott. And here's how they'll line it up for this evening. Smart, McMordie, Brown, Young, Scott, then I'll close this one out. All right, on the board tonight, single from the Major League Baseball and Hockey, couple here from Major League Baseball, and we'll also have some coverage from you guys from the weekend fights, UFC and boxing here on the Thursday, kind of a light card. We're going to go into the peripherals. But let's go ahead, let's start the show off here with Alex Smart. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Action on the ice tonight. Alex, what's happening?
Hey, Tone, how's everything? We're going to go after some NHL hockey tonight. We got the Bruins and Maple Leafs. We know the Maple Leafs haven't played great hockey at home, really all season long, and they haven't played great hockey at home here in the playoffs. And, despite of needing this game, obviously, because, we're in an elimination situation, there's a lot of stuff here that just, that shines on the Bruins coming away and, winning this series. Toronto's offense has been stonewalled by Bruins goalie Swayman. Leafs have averaged 1.8 goals per game in this series, and they've been held to 2 or fewer goals in 4 of the 5 games. And I think they're going to have problems again tonight. Power play king, they've only connected on 1 of 17. And then Austin Matthews is not in the lineup tonight. Oh boy, that's trouble, because you're just going to be in a defensive mode all the time, because Matthews has this way of sort of generating and sort of procuring the offense for this team. He is the energy they move around, not Tavares, but him. And, on the flip side, the Buds also, they're a team that gives up, going into the playoffs, 30th in high danger chances. I mean, and they're really not that good here in the playoffs so far either. So, it's just a situation. Just, to me, I don't care how well Wall has done in nets for the Leafs. It's not going to be enough, I think. I really think, we're not getting tremendous value here, but, it's not that bad. We're going to lay just a little bit of lumber with Boston. Must be noted that Boston is 7-0 ATS in road games after playing a game where fewer total goals were scored. I'm having a problem spitting the words out tonight, but it's all right. I'll get there. And with a plus 1.9 goals differential. So, I'm really looking for the Leafs to come home tonight. No Austin Matthews, no Leafs win.
There you go. Alex here on the Bruins here, laying the $1.20 here against the Maple Leafs. And in this series, it's been very low scoring for the Leafs. Very rarely, only one time in this series, they gotten over 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad. And, when a team like this, I keep on harping on Matthews, this is a 69-goal scorer. And they're already just for 1 for 17 on the power play. And like I said, Swayman's just been solid. Bruins know how to win. I think this season they've only lost more than 2 games in a row 7 times. So this, I'm saying, hey, Leafs did great last time out coming home. I think they put a lot of energy out. The Leafs didn't look as exhausted at the end of that game, and I think the Leafs were quite fortunate. Bad luck for the Leafs again. I think the Bruins got their number, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully for Leafs fans, I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah, that's right. We've got Alex here on the Bruins here, laying the 121 here. I want to get your thoughts here on this, as we do have some series prices here for the Rangers and Hurricanes. And looking here at the Hurricanes, favorite $1.60 in the series.
The Hurricanes looked so good against the Islanders, but I think that was kind of unfair. There were some times when the Hurricanes maybe didn't look like one, Yeah, I'll tell you, we're getting value here with the Canes. The Rangers are a brand, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? We're looking at brand versus reality, and sometimes what do the lines makers know that I don't know? And we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it rolls. A big favorites here in this series here with this Rangers and Hurricanes in the next round. We're getting some of these series prices. Still work to do here in Vancouver, Nashville, Dallas, and the Golden Knights series has been kind of interesting here as they continue play here tomorrow's card. Alex here on the Bruins here, lay the 121 here, and this one tonight, 8 Eastern time. All right, Alex, let's take a look over at
Pick Dogs. Quickly, what do you think of that Carolina series?
I've liked Carolina all series, but
Yeah.
I mean, I love their style of play. But man, I look at that big price there, and I think they've got the guns to get through it. You know.
Yeah, that brand is going to drag some money in. I don't know. I think that's the way they're looking at this whole thing. You're going to see some plus money run in. I don't know if it's going to be sharp money, but there's going to be money moving in. I think that's the whole game plan, moving some money across the. Yeah.
Yeah, so see how this one plays out. In this one here, of course, they will play game one on Sunday. Sunday is game one, and we're seeing this one here, Carolina minus 115 on the road, short favorites against the Rangers.
Yeah.
Total 5.5. I mean, that to me, I'm thinking under. I mean, it's just
Yeah. It's sort of screaming at you,
Right.
And we say this all the time, and I'll say it quickly. There are no trap lines. You're just going to beat yourself. I mean, they're going to offer up a line, and they're going to allow you to beat yourself. You're not being tricked into anything. We'll put it that way. So, if it looks good, it looks good.
Being tricked with this Vegas Golden Knights. This one's almost $1.15 on the Stars to close it out in Vegas. Stars took 3 in a row after losing 2 at home.
Wow, I'm shocked. This is an experienced Las Vegas team. And I'm not going to give any hints here in case I move forward with something on that game, but that's an experienced Las Vegas team. I don't think they fold too easily, to put it that way.
I think you had an oh-no with those Vancouver Canucks fans. They thought they were home free, and then Nashville takes the win. This one's $1.30 tomorrow in Nashville.
There's so many coin flips right now. When you're looking at playoff hockey, you got to be constantly looking at value because anything could happen. I mean, that Washington series, Rangers, that was a complete mismatch, obviously. But the Islanders almost, they outplayed Carolina a few times. So you got to look at this series now, and you got to wonder, can the Rangers somehow come up with a game plan that sort of stifles Carolina? I don't know. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Of course, Edmonton and Colorado waiting for their opponents as we saw those series end already. But we got Alex here on the Bruins, minus 120 against the Maple Leafs. All right, Alex, let's take a look over at Pick.com for tonight's action. Of course, the singles here on the board from the NHL, single from Major League Baseball, 2 games here on the board from NBA. Showing great results here, 4,487 units of profit for the year, all sports combined. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, we've got an NBA total tonight. It's the only play on board, short board, obviously, tonight. And that Indiana-Milwaukee game, really like this total a lot. And for specific reasons I pointed out in my write-up, right now I'm hitting 70% over my last 60 NBA total selections. Nice run into the end of the season, which is not unusual for me, better knock on wood in case I jinx myself. Anyway, I shouldn't even said that. But from here on in, we've got more NBA action. The Knicks series are ready to start very shortly. We're going to have some WNBA action shortly, and we're going to have some more NHL action. Just going to be a little bit conservative with the NHL stuff. Like I said earlier, you want to always look for value, and I've got to find a value selection before I just pull the trigger for no reason. So.
That's right, guys. You have both outside over at Pick Dog Trade, 4,487 units of profit for the year. So get on board long-term passes with all right in the postseason. This will take you started the finals here June 1st on a 1-month all sports pass. Alex is pre in place for that month. Promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. All right, Alex, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you next week. But sometimes you pop in on those weekend shows.
Sometimes. I will probably not so much in June and July. I'll leave it to the superstar baseball experts like you to do it. I'm pretty conservative with baseball. That's quite honest. But we'll have a lot of NBA and Major League Baseball action. And just one last thing. I've had some big winning baseball seasons before. It's not uncommon for me to have them. But I'll leave it for the superstars like you. You know baseball better than anybody. Anyway,
all right. All right, let's take care. Alex Martin here on The Drive to talk to him next week. All right, let's continue on here on The Drive through, guys. Let's keep a look at the chat pick of the day. Looking to bounce back with D-backs. Guys, Montgomery, a 14% strikeout rate. I was trying to tell you that early in the show yesterday. And the Dodgers hammered him. All right, chat pick of the day. Guardians and Astros. If you like the Guardians, it's letter A, plus 120. B for the Astros, minus 130. C, over 9. D, under 9. That's a chat pick of the day. Keep these picks coming in on the chat pick. All right, let's continue here on The Drive through. We'll bring in Big Al McMordie. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Bring him in here right now. enjoying great results, man. Look at his numbers back in NBA and NHL combined. It's been strong. Big Al, what's happening?
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Doing great. Game to begin here. We talked about this. When do these games start early? Well, when you have two Eastern Conference teams left. It's happened many times.
Yeah. Oh, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do, Big Al? Exactly. All right, here we go. Pacers and Bucks are going to tip it off here in about 15. We see the Pacers 6, total 217.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Indiana Pacers this evening, Tony. I like them for three reasons. First, they've gone 67 and 40 ATS when favored by less than 8 points and playing with revenge versus a division rival. The other reason I like Indiana is that the Pacers are exceptional off an upset loss. They've gone 7-0 ATS their last 7, 26-1 ATS their last 27 in that situation. And then something which I have talked about here frequently over the last couple of years, Milwaukee is just horrible as an underdog. When they're getting plus 1.5 or more points away from home, they're now 15 and 43 ATS. So, yeah, Damian Lillard's going to suit up tonight. The number's down to 6, as you mentioned, but I'm going to lay it with Indiana.
All right, Big Al's going to lay it here with Indiana. Pacers here laying the 6. There was concern about Halliburton, but Halliburton will be in the lineup tonight, Big Al. So they're going to be at full strength here, fully healthy for Indiana. That's true. Yeah, both teams will be at decent strength. Milwaukee, of course, still missing Giannis, but it's about as good as Milwaukee could have hoped for in this situation. Have you ever looked at? I'm sure you've looked at this endpoint, right? Teams that are facing their first closeout. A team being eliminated or a team clinching. Have you seen any interesting trends there with your numbers in closeout games?
I don't define it by first closeout. I just look at elimination games generally. So whether it's a 3-0 or a 3-1 or a 3-2 or a 3-3 situation, obviously one team is getting closed out in that. Historically, the most important thing for elimination games is that they tend to go under the total 54%. The over comes in 46%. So, makes sense, right? I mean, in a closeout game, you are probably going to be locked in defensively for the most part. But, as far as the side selections, nothing is as strong as that.
Okay, they go from Big Al. Years and years and years of data there on the database. Big Al McMordie here. Pacers laying the 6, beginning in about 15 minutes from now on TNT. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dog for tonight's action. Limited card, 2 in the NBA, single from baseball, single on the board from hockey. You can see Big Al over 3,000 units of profit when you combine both the NBA and NHL on the ledger there. What do you have going over at the site?
Oh, I've got a lot going on, Tony. I've got 2 NBA plays today in the short card, of course, one side, one total. I've got in hockey 1 play, having a terrific hockey season, as you mentioned. Haven't had a ton of plays, but we're 29 and 19 this year in hockey, 67% also in the playoffs. And then I've already posted my Kentucky Derby long shot winner for Saturday over at Pick Dogs. So, 2 years ago, I hit each of the Triple Crown races, and I've had a lot of success in the Triple Crown races over the last 15 or so years. I think I've won 13 out of the last 28 releases that I've given out, including an Exacta, which paid $124.40. So, folks want to get on board for the Kentucky Derby. It's up at Pick Dogs right now. I'm going to have probably 4 UFL football plays on the weekend as well. And then looking ahead to Friday, I should be back in action in baseball. And then I've also already posted the Game 1 winner between the Timberwolves and Nuggets on Saturday. There
you go. Get on board with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dog. Look at these great results here. NHL, NBA combined nearly over 3,000 units of profit. Long-term pass, the way to go. You see it there, 3, 7, 30 all sports pass. Remember that 1-month pass, get you action from Big Al here from NBA and NHL playoffs right until the beginning of the first final round of the series here, the championship round. Also, all the baseball, the spring football. He'll be in action here with Kentucky Derby, possibly the Preakness. We'll get you covered here with the Big Al as he gets in horse racing here during the Triple Crown. And remember, the promo code PICK at checkout saves that 15% off. And of course, Big Al, you also have your all access for the big bettors.
Yeah, I do, and it's not for everyone. Of course, you have to be able to bet 1,000 to 10,000 a game and have a nice bankroll. But if you do, just text the words "Big Al" to 775-636-7676. In addition to all the plays that go to the premium side over at pickdogs.com, you also get additional plays that don't go there, as well as the ratings of the game, and I rate them 10 down through 1. And as an example, yesterday we did go 1-1, but one of the plays was a 6-star play and the other play was a 2-star play, and we did win the 6-star, we did lose the 2-star. So that's one of the benefits of being an all access, is you know which plays are stronger. And then finally, it is all access. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I mean that seriously. You can contact me at 10:30 at night if you'd like, or 2 a.m. in the morning if you want. But obviously the games aren't going off at 2 a.m. But yeah, if you want to contact me at 10:30 and the game's going off right then, I will give you my opinion on that game if it's not on our service. So if this is something you'd like to get involved with, just text Big Al to 775-636-7676, but you must be a big player.
Sports covered? Which ones? The sports.
Football, basketball, including spring football, baseball, horse racing. Yeah, all the sports.
All the major sports. Okay, I just want to make sure they don't call looking for an EPL.
Yeah, no, I don't do soccer.
All right. When you said 2:30 in the morning, probably says, "Oh my, this is what I'm looking for."
Oh, Jesus.
No worries.
Yeah, no. One of the things I was talking to someone yesterday, and I'm going to try to also build a WNBA database.
Nice.
So yeah, just give myself some more work to do.
Yeah.
The other thing, I was listening to what Alex had to say a few minutes ago when you were talking with Alex Smart, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. He was talking about how there are no trap lines, and that Vegas isn't trying to trick anybody, and he's so right. And it's that's one of my pet peeves. You hear people talk about that all the time. Oh, this line looks fishy, or they're trying to trick me, and all that garbage. And I just say, if you think a line looks fishy, it's probably because you misapprehend the value of one or both of the two teams involved. It's not because Vegas is trying to lay a trap.
Yeah, exactly. No doubt. All right, Big Al. Let everybody know about your video series. We'll catch you with All Access, and of course, we'll catch you also on the weekend show.
Yeah, the video series I just posted one for Friday. I think it'll be loaded tonight around 9:30 p.m. Folks can see those videos at the YouTube, and then Saturday and Sunday. I try to make it one out of the 2 days. I usually don't get both on Saturday and Sunday, but usually one of the 2 days I'll pop on for the Saturday or Sunday morning show.
Yeah, those are fun. Hope Saturday we'll talk some. Well, I'm sure we'll talk some Derby and some of the races that are on that big card at Churchill. All right, Big Al. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you.
And you'll be on Saturday, right?
I'll be on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
I got to track. I got to handicap
Tony.
the whole card. You can't just track. You just can't handicap the Kentucky Derby. There's always a good racing card that day.
Yeah, send me a text message with what you see.
All right, you got it. All right, Big Al.
Thanks, Tom.
Big Al McMordie here on the Drive Thru. We'll continue to talk to you later. We'll talk to you later. Big Al McMordie here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue on here, guys. Let's keep it up on that chat pick. It's been one way, and I kind of figured it might have been here. Chat pick of the day: Guardians and Astros. If you like the Guardians at plus 120, it's A. B for the Astros, the favorite. C for over 9. D for under 9. It's our chat pick of the day, and it's all been Guardians, right? 5 right now for the Guardians, none for the Astros, and I'm with you guys. I can't argue that one whatsoever there. So keep those chat picks coming in. Chat pick of the day. We did get one here for the Astros. Lando86 is a believer in the Astros, so he came in right now with the Astros here with his chat pick. Let's continue here on the board. Let's go to Las Vegas, Nevada. And about with Tony Brown. You'll catch him over at Pick Dog Spring. We'll bring Tony Brown in right now, enjoying the nice springtime weather, although it might be starting to heat up now as we're now turning into May. We're not getting those poolside visits from Tony Brown. Tony, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T? I'm actually just pulling up to the Orleans casino as you caught me right now.
All right, we don't see any perspiration, so we think it's okay now, the weather-wise. All right, here we go. Even with air conditioning, you still sweat.
Right, I was about to say I haven't got out yet, and on the car temp it's at 90, so
it's
jeez, man.
It's keeping up already. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Sixers and Knicks going head-to-head here. We see the Sixers here laying 3 here. This one to start 9 Eastern time. It's late, but we know we got 2 Eastern Conference series remaining here. Total 202.
Yeah, I mean, sound the alarm. I'm picking the over in this game, and we can count on one hand how many times I've picked an over. I don't do totals, but when I do and I see it, I love it. I gotta play it. I like the money, and I absolutely love the over in this game. 202 seems rather low for me. They went over 202 in 4 of the 5 games of this series, and closeout games are always the hardest. So the Knicks are going to be trying to close out the Sixers. They're going to give it all they got. They're going to leave it on the floor. The Sixers are trying to avoid elimination at home. And I mean, I seen Tyrese Maxey score 7 points in 7 seconds. So I think we're going to see buckets early and often in this one. I think we're in for a very exciting game. And I think the offense wins and the defense is going to be few and far between. I think they're going to play defense like it's an option in this game. And 202, I think they cashed that one fairly easy.
All right, Tony Brown here is coming in on the over the 202 in this one. Knicks and the 76ers. Also in your favor in a closeout game, the team that is getting closed out, you usually get that foul fest. If again, in a situation, if the Knicks are up and clear, you usually get that foul fest in the final 2 minutes.
Exactly. Not only that, there's so many backstories to this game. You know how the Knicks crowd took over Philly and they were chanting F Embiid at the end of the game and all that. So I think the Sixers crowd is going to be like into it with the Knicks crowd. I think that's going to motivate the players. Embiid is the star of the team, yet Maxey was the game-winning hero on the road. So, Embiid's going to show why he's an MVP this game. I just don't see defense a lot. I don't see a lot of defense in this one. And I see why they got the total set so low. Thibodeau's known for defense, and they did have a game where both of these teams both failed to reach 100. But that was 1 out of 5. The other 4 flew over this game. So I think that one game that stayed under was an anomaly, and I think we get the over 202 in this one.
All right, Tony Brown says it'll be over 202 in this one, Knicks and 76ers. Of course, Tony Brown, we always joke and kid about the Lakers. I thought the Lakers it didn't surprise me they got 1. I thought they might have gotten 2 in that series, but they played well enough to take 2 in that series. I still think they're a few pieces away. I mean, you hire a rookie coach. I mean, what are your expectations? There's going to be a learning process going in. I mean, I always say I think Darvin Ham's an okay coach. Doesn't mean he's a bad coach. Doesn't mean he's a championship coach. I think for 2 years he just kind of gets a C, the B- grade for me because he just doesn't have the experience needed to run a team like the Lakers. But that's not his fault. He was placed in that position by ownership. So your thoughts here as the Lakers close out their season?
I think it's just the opposite, man. I don't think it had anything to do with us. I just think it's Denver. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think Pat Riley could have coached this team at Denver. You know what I mean? It's like, let's go. They went on an 11-game win streak. We beat them once, and then they beat us. So they've won 12 out of the 13 games. In the 13 games, they were down double digits in all the games. So it's like, is that Darvin Ham's fault that we couldn't hold the lead and they started acting like babies and stuff? And then, not to mention, you know who leads the playoff in points? The Joker. And not just for Denver. I'm talking about all of the scorers in points. He's the number 1 scorer in the playoffs. You know who leads in rebounds? The Joker. And you know who leads in assists? The Joker. So I would just hate to say if we had a better coach, we would be able to stop the most unstoppable player in the league. And he didn't even kill us. It wasn't even him. It was Murray. Murray hit 2 game winners. You know what I mean? Like, he went to the Mamba Academy. Kobe taught him how to do that. It's like I said, you just have to be humble sometimes. We're not in our moment. LeBron James was the king of basketball since high school. He's won several championships. He's lived in his moment. This is Jamal Murray's moment. This is the Joker's moment. This is Anthony Edwards' moment. KD is eliminated. Steph Curry is out of the playoffs. It's a new era. You know what I mean? But can I just look? Yeah, can I just look and be like, man, if we had another coach, we for sure would have beat the defending champions. You know what I mean? Like, that's a tough sell right there. So I think Darvin Ham did as best as he could. I think Anthony Davis played better than ever. I think LeBron James can go another 5 or 10 more years. Yeah. Of course, you'd like to surround yourself with some more pieces, but what team wouldn't? Who wouldn't just like to load up with Porzingis and load up with, you know what I mean? Like, everyone would like more pieces, but for the team that we have, we play anybody but Denver in the first round, I think we advance.
Yep, and this is from Tony Brown, who touted the Nuggets last year before they won the tournament. He identified the Nuggets as championship material. Did it again this year. Said, you know what? This is just got to tip your cap off to the Nuggets, and you just got to try to work to improve on what you have, and not just blow it up and just do some extreme things that probably most likely will make you take 2 steps backwards and a step forward.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we just gotta work hard in the summer. D'Lo has some bad games. Everybody like to point fingers at him, but I mean, he has some great games, 9 3-pointers and stuff like that. Like we did everything we could. Lakers are a good organization. We don't need to blow up the team, and we're all good.
And I'm going to say this because a lot of people talk about analytics, but over the years that I've studied the numbers, it's the one thing, Tony Brown, that I really think that analytics does the best job of is figuring out who's good and bad when you look for the players. I'm thinking now it's harder and harder to trade for quality. It's harder and harder to get over on some team now because these analytics, I think, do the best job of telling you who's good and who's not.
You know my slogan, Tone. Game's not played on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the analytics help, and you've seen the movie Moneyball and things of that nature, but the game's not played on paper, man. You still got to do some good scouting. You still got to get out there and you still got to play the game.
Yeah, and if we noticed here in the last few years with the trading deadline, we're just kind of duds. I mean, there wasn't that lot of excitement in them at all, but I think it's to the fact where I think people are kind of figuring it out now, and it's going to be harder and harder to get over on teams. All right, Tony Brown here on the Knicks Sixers over 202 tonight, 9 Eastern time. You folks out, people complain about these late starts. People stay up late anyway. I mean, 11:15, 11:30 is not late to finish a game. So come on, stop crying out there.
They watch Game of Thrones at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, a lot of these media people complain because they don't like their job. They got to stay out late, work late. That's usually what it is. All right, 9 Eastern time. All right, Tony Brown, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Print for tonight's action. Of course, on the board tonight, we got singles from baseball, single from on the ice, as well as a couple from the NBA. As we're going to tip off Indiana and Milwaukee pretty soon. Tony Brown enjoying a great baseball year. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, I got a big three tonight. We got MLB, NBA, and NHL all in play, and I'm all over it. I got my NBA playoff pick, NHL playoff pick, and my MLB laser lock. You can grab them individually, or you can get them with the Thursday 3-play and bang your bookie 3 times over.
That's right, guys. Got over Tony Brown over at Pick Dogs Premium. 540 units of profit. MLB for 2024, all documented over at Pick Dodge Premium. Get on board with Tony. Long-term pass will serve you well. That 1-month pass will get you all of Tony Brown's premium plays for the 30 days. And, of course, Tony Brown, you have that 1 year for the bettors that go year-round like you do.
Yes, sir. That's everything in the whole year. 365 days of play. It's not a season pass. It's not a sports pass. Every pick I release, every sport, playoffs, championship picks included, all for one low price with that VIP season pass.
Use that promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. All right, Tony Brown, have yourself a great night. Enjoy the Orleans. I remember a few stops in the Orleans. Seemed like a nice, friendly place. Nice little place for locals there. Good food?
Oh, yeah. Super cool, super good food. I used to live close before I went over by the Aliante area, and I always frequented it. But they got some good line movements. I think I'm going to make a little extra, like $60, $70 for coming over here.
There you go, Tony Brown. All right, have a great night. Tony Brown, we'll talk with you again next week.
Always appreciate being here, and I'll see you guys next week.
Got Tony Brown here on the drive too. Let's continue on. The Orleans, by the way, is a lot of horse players like to go there.
Yeah, for sure. The Derby guys, I haven't gotten in yet, but I already know they were here the other day. The old guys, like you said, the locals, the down there, man, they got that thing flooded already, and everybody's an expert, man. I got so many Derby picks. I'm just gonna put $1 on everybody just to make everyone happy. They're like, I'm telling you. So, all right, we'll see.
Yeah, remember they reserved their spot with the magnifying glass. They're all there with the magnifying glasses looking at the foreman there when you go out there.
And they're wasting all the cocktail tickets because you get free drinks when you when you make bets. They're using them on coffee.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll buy you guys some coffee, man. Give me those tickets.
I know. Remember those old Stardust days? You would walk in and they would just give you a ticket. And your stranger would just give you tickets as you'd walk in. Remember those days?
Right. Like, are you going to stay, buddy? Here you go. Right. Like, now they're wasting them on coffee. So, it's a changing of the guard in this casino, too.
That's it. All right, Tony Brown. Enjoy the night. We'll catch up with you next week.
All right. I appreciate you guys. Everybody, good luck out there.
All right, Tony Brown here on the drive through. Let's continue here on our show, guys. Keep an eye on that chat pick of the day. Chat's hit 10 of their past 14. Looking to bounce back today. It is Guardians and Astros. You like the Guardians A, Astros B. You see the prices there. Also, we want to make sure we're looking at the numbers here. It's 7 now for the Guardians, 3 for the Astros. No totals coming in yet. Kind of figured the Guardians would get in here as well. I'll be right back going in for Rich P. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through. Let's see, we're getting some more coming in right now. I just saw a couple more come in. We got 1-on-1, so we have one for the Guardians, one for the Astros here as we speak. Another one coming in here for the Guardians, so up to 9-4. So the Guardians holding that lead. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through. It's time now for Millz, some UFC action. 301. Catch Millz over at Pick Dogs Premium. Bring Millz in right now. He's a content producer for Pick Dogs YouTube channel. Let's get him in here in a second. Millz, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony? How's everybody doing today?
Things going great. All right, UFC 301 pay-per-view card. Here we go. So it's 300. It's 301. You're going to be looking at here Craig and Barajo.
Yeah, man. So, you got a big fighter, big favorite in Caio Borralho. He's all the way up to a -700. He opened up like a -475, -500. So whenever you have a big favorite on there, there's never no real value in even trying to parlay anything like that, or even really trying to add 3 of those big favorites to try to get, maybe a even decent price tag. So we're not here for none of that. We're here to just give you like a nice way to slice that -700 price tag all the way up to a -125. And one way to do that is to take Borralho to win inside the distance. The reason why I like him to win inside the distance is based on his opponent. His opponent, Paul Craig, usually has a history of getting finished. He's chinny. He's facing an opponent who's going to be out there looking for the knockout because he's fighting in his hometown in Brazil. He doesn't want to win by just laying and praying on an opponent. Caio Borralho, he's usually good for submissions. He was able to submit his last opponent out. But he already said something in the press conference saying, hey, Paul Craig's a nice guy, but I actually want to knock him out. I want to go out there and win by KO. With that being said, I actually think he has multiple paths to win. I actually think he'll win by ground and pound. I can see him ground and pounding Paul Craig out in the mid-round 2, or else I could even see him submitting him. So the play here is going to be Borralho to win inside the distance, and you can get that at like a -125.
All right, there you go with Millz here. Borralho inside the distance here at -120. Like we like to do here with the Millz here is do a bit of a rundown here as look at some of the other fights here. We got Martinez and Aldo going on the pay-per-view card. Martinez $1.42, total 2.5.
Yeah, Jose Aldo's coming back out of retirement. Everybody know Jose Aldo. He pretty much ran the division back in the day when he was a current champion. Moved down to a different weight class, took some time off, wasn't able to get that title shot in there. He's coming off a 2-year retirement. He's fighting in his hometown. That's the reason why he is coming back. He does have one more fight left on his contract too, so I think it's a little bit just trying to, get his fight done with his contract. On the other side, his opponent, who is it? Jonathan Martinez, deadly leg kicker. So you got 2 deadly leg kickers who's going to be taking off on each other, and one of these guys, monies came in on him. Jonathan Martinez opened up at a -115. He's all the way up to a -150. I like Jonathan Martinez to get it done, and I actually think this fight should be going to the scorecards as well.
All right, there we go with Millz as we're doing our UFC rundown here for the card coming up here. We got some TBAs. Let's go back here on some of the previous fights here so we can get some rundown here from Millz. We'll look at we got that one in. Smith and Petrino here. Big line for Petrino.
Yeah, man. So this card, you're gonna have a lot of big favorites on this card. Some of them are warranted and some of them aren't. In this one, you got a tough veteran in Anthony Smith who's been tested before, fought John Jones for the likes of that. He could have been champ because he actually got kneed, and instead of actually taking the belt, he actually said it's okay and continued to fight and then got finished. But Petrino on the other side, he got 3 fights in the UFC. He's a big favorite in here. I don't think that price tag's warranted. I do think Petrino wins. This is another one to where I think Petrino can win inside the distance. Smith got knocked out in his last fight. I think he's going to get knocked out in this one as well.
All right, looks like another big line here with Pereira against Potierra here. 620, 1.5 is the total.
Yeah, so on this one, man, I like Pereira a lot. Actually a fan of this guy. He was supposed to be fighting somebody else, but Potierra had to step up on late notice. He's taking this fight on late notice, and on top of it, he's stepping up to a different weight class, a weight class that he's not used to fighting in. Same thing that was said on the other big favorites. This one would be the one that I would say I actually feel the best in. Pierre wins inside the distance.
There we go, more in-time distance here as we continue on here. In ESPN fight here, Silva and Gomez here, we see Silva $1.15, 2.5.
Yeah, so, money's been coming in on the dog right now. I like William Gomes in this spot. He's 3-0 in the UFC. He's a slick fighter. He presents a style that's not easy to be hit. So a lot of time you're out there fighting and, your opponent don't know what to do in the corner. It's kind of like an MVP, Michael Venom Page style. And, if you can't figure him out and download him, you don't know how to beat him. I want to say he's on an 11-fight win streak to add on top of that. He's not going to wow you with strikes, but he's going to keep his distance to the range. I actually like William Gomes in this spot.
Brito and Shore here. We got Brito $1.60, total 1.5 on the ESPN card.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one right here. I think it's the main fight on the prelims right here. You got Joannison Brito, who packs a lot of power in his punch. He can finish a lot of his opponents in 2 different ways. He's deadly with the submissions as well. Jack Shore, he's a wrestler. He's stepping up in this weight class now. It's his second fight in this division. He looked good in his first. We was able to make money with him in the lower weight class, but I just think when he comes up to this bigger weight class, people like Brito, who has that size and physique, they're going to be able to out-bully him in there. I actually think Brito's a solid piece right here at -160 as well.
All right, we continue here on the ESPN card. Kowalkiewicz and Lucindo. Lucindo, big favorite.
Man, the price tag's just way off in this one. I'll just be honest. Carolina Killowicz, she's on a 4-0 win streak. She's an older fighter who's just been getting better because she's not training in Poland no more. Moved over to South Florida, training with a better gym and American Top Team. And she's been turning that corner. If anything, on this spot, the dog is live. So I actually wouldn't be playing this bet at all at the -400. I'll be looking at the dog, if anything.
All right, then we move to the ESPN Plus prelims. Malarkey and Ruffy. Ruffy looks big favorite here, 223 with a total of 1.5.
Yeah, I like Ruffy in this spot. I hopped him on him when he came out at -170. As you see, money's coming in now. He's up to a -220 on the books out there. Malarkey's another guy who's kind of chinny out there. But he's, he has that dog in him for about 5 minutes. Then he usually gets, put to sleep just like a dog out there. So I like Ruffy in this spot.
Okay, left Ruffy there, and continue on the ESPN Plus prelims. Costa and Brojas. We see Costa favorite $1.41 with a 2.5 total.
Man, been kind of back and forth on this one, man. The later on we are in the week, that's why it's always good to see what's going on sometimes, and sometimes we change our mind. On the video prediction that we put out on Pick Dogs, I gave out Costa as the prediction. But, the more tape study I watch and, stuff that I'm seeing, I like Boras in there. I think he's a live dog in here. I think his boxing's going to be a little bit too much in there. And if Costa doesn't get those takedowns in there, I think, the boxing on Boras is going to be a little bit too much. So I like Boras as the dog.
So we see share favorite $1.79, total 1.5, continue ESPN Plus card.
Yeah, I like Jaquir Close in there. Overall, he's just better than Joaquim Silva. Point blank, period.
Continue on the ESPN Plus card, Barbosa and Karkat. We see Barbosa 239, total 2.5.
All right, so you got styles that make fights. So you're gonna have the striker in Karakate. She's gonna be taking on Barbosa, who's a judo jiu-jitsu specialist out there. I like Barbosa in this spot. I hopped on her earlier on at a -200. Did a parlay in here. I think she should be able to get the takedowns in here. If she's not able to get the takedowns and stays on the feet, yes, it'll be a big disparity. Karakate, she's real tall. The height disparity and the reach on her will give Barbosa problems, but I don't think it's going to stay on the feet at all. I think Barbosa should be able to get those takedowns, maybe even win by a late ground and pound in round 3.
All right, we've got Bonfim and Pichel here, ESPN Plus card here. We see Bonfim, big favorite, 516, total 1.5.
Now, this is one of the ones, man. Like, I'm going to be sprinkling a little bit of money on Vince Pichel right here in this spot. Bonfim, he's one of those guys to where he's a big favorite, and he's dropped the ball before. There's always one of those guys on this card to where those big favorites loses, and everybody's looking at their parlay tickets like, I was one fight away from making $6K, and this could be that one. So I'm going to be sprinkling a little bit on Vince Pichel. It's two fighters who's they were supposed to take place already in the cage a couple of months ago, and the UFC wanted this to stay on the card. When it did, when it did get to that week, Bonfim was a minus 750. So, now he's minus 517. I guess some people's going to say that's a value. I don't think so. I think, if anything, the dog's more alive than the favorite.
All right, we got you through. Of course, Millz rundown. We can take you from the first prelim all the way to the main event. And without a hitch, he comes through again. That's Millz Young. He knows his UFC MMA expert here. I want to ask you, interesting, you always sit here looking for an underdog in this level. I always notice there's kind of three levels, right? You have the lower prelims, the mid-card prelim, and then you have the main events, or the pay-per-view or main event card. Where do you see most of the underdog activity in those three different levels?
So, to be honest, the biggest underdog that usually hits, that we like to call the apple pie, thing, is usually on the main card. To be honest, it's usually one on the main card. It's because they'll let you stack all the way through, and then right there on that main card, like let's just say like the second or third fight on the main card, you're just like, oh man, what just happened? And it's always that way too. It's because they give you something to parlay it with, per se, on the early prelims. And then, depending on what you got it with, you're probably going to have it parlayed with something on the regular prelims as well. So, you're looking at your ticket like, all right, man, main card going on, about to cash, one fight away. So, in MMA, it's easy to hedge. And a lot of people do that in this community. And that's one of the real reasons why. It's because it's big favorites, to where you could put some money on the opposite side and just to, make sure that you're coming back with some type of money. And that's what a lot of people do in the MMA betting, to where it doesn't matter that they're not winning the plus 300 on them at the start. They're just trying to make sure that they're taking back, like, let's just say, plus 1.5 units or something like that. So that's always a way that a lot of people like to do it as well.
All right, there you go from Millz. Again, from the first prelim to the main events, a full rundown from the UFC 301. Or so you see Millz' show pick here. Rollo, inside the distance, minus 120. All right, Millz, let's take a look. Let everybody know what's going on over at the Pick Dogs YouTube channel. Millz is a content producer here at Pick Dogs. What's happened over with your content over at Pick Dogs?
Yeah, man. So we just dropped the UFC video yesterday. Try to get it up to 1,000 likes and more comments like that. I think we're at like 900 right now. So right after you guys are getting done watching this, go ahead and watch the video. I'll go in depth, about 24 minutes live. Giving you guys a little bit more ways to get paid in there too. I did give out a parlay in that prediction as well, so you guys can follow up with that. And then also too, I did a little bit more predictions on if the fights are going to go the distance or not. Besides that, we got the prop shop that's dropping daily out here. Went over the whole 2 games that we got for the NBA slate for you guys today. Went over one of my best hockey props, even though it's 2 teams playing that I really don't like in this spot. So that's what you guys can get out here daily from us at Pick Dogs.
That's right, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so when Millz drops those videos, you get them in real time. All right, Millz, we know you're a big Jags and Atlanta fan of Falcons. What are your thoughts over now that the draft's over and the free agent period? What's your thoughts on both teams heading into the next upcoming season?
I couldn't ask for more in the draft for both teams. I'll start off with the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, I kind of, I became a big fan of Michael Penix Jr. Throughout the last 2 years. So, I mean, for me to get a player that I'm actually a fan of in college on my team, I'm all for it. The Kirk Cousins scenario, hear me out on this. He's 36, 38 years old. You never know what's going to happen. And on top of it, I look at it like this. Michael Penix Jr., if he was drafted next year, he'd probably be number 1, number 2, right?
Yep.
If he was probably drafted...
Shedeur Sanders is the only one that could fit within these players that are in the draft, that went in the top. It's a weak draft next year for quarterbacks.
And I'll take it on another note. If he was drafted the year following that, he would probably still be in the top 1 or 4. But we're not going to be in there, and that type of caliber of quarterback's not going to be there to grab. So I'm all for it, for just having them on the team. So I like that spot that we got on there. We got a good defensive tackle in the 3rd round from Washington as well. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they got a good draft in there. They moved back some spots and got a good wide receiver from LSU. And then besides that, we got some decent defensive spots on there filled in. But hey, I'm all for it, man. We're trying to feed our weapons with the Jacksonville Jaguars and give Trevor Lawrence more weapons. And on the Atlanta Falcons team, it's just like this. Look, we were not one defensive tackle or one linebacker away from winning the Super Bowl or a big game. So we need all type of stuff. And there's so many years to where my Atlanta Falcons draft players in the first round, and y'all never know who they are, and they never stick around. So I'm all for it for having Michael Penix Jr. on my team and compared to us drafting a defensive tackle that's not going to win 4 more games for us or anything like that.
Yep, when you got a defense that can't rush a passer, can't get off the field on third down, you need the offense to keep you in the game. It's usually the case there with this Atlanta Falcons. The same old story year after year after year is not being in those two key areas. All right, Millz, thanks a lot for joining us. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Hey, man, I think that May 5th Cinco de Mayo fight.
Uh-oh. We're getting some barking here. So that's coming up next. Millz Young here on the drive-thru. Let's continue here on the drive-thru, guys. Before we do, let's keep an eye on that chat pick of the day. It's been kind of one-way action here from the get-go. The Guardians and we'll get here in a second here. I always got that chat pick. I got to fix that button on Millz's board here for the chat pick. All right, here we go. Chat pick of the day. Guardians Astros, kind of what I thought it might have gone here with the Guardians getting a lot of the picks here. Right now, 13 on the Guardians, 5 on the Astros. We do have 1 under, but that was split with the side, so take it for what that's worth. Guardians A plus 120, Astros B minus 130. Right now, it's been one-sided here with these Guardians. Right now, Chad has hit 14 of their past 10 of their past 14, doing great work there. We've just got another Guardians in right now. Ricky Patel coming in there. So keep those picks coming in. Chat pick of the day. And if you've already put in your pick of the day, your chat pick, then now you can go ahead and put in your show pick into the chat, and we'll talk about it at the end of the show. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru. Wayne Scott up next. We talk Cinco de Mayo boxing. Of course, that leads us into the next segment. Wayne, what's happening? Oh, we might have lost Wayne there. Might have lost connection there with Wayne. We'll get in touch with Wayne in a little bit. Maybe next week. We lost him. We'll hear more about Wayne and boxing here. No doubt about that. All right, let's continue here on the drive. So we'll get to my pick, and then we'll close it out for tonight here on the drive-thru. Let's go. Where are we going? We're going back to my side. Okay, we're going to go to the NBA game with the Sixers and the New York Knicks. We got a total. We're going to talk about both games. It's a light card, so we're going to go ahead. We gave you guys the Guardians game on the chat, so let's go here with the Sixers and the New York Knicks going head-to-head. I'm going to be here on the Sixers here, laying the 3 in this spot. It's Philadelphia. Really, they definitely have a home court advantage. They're going to be all out here in this, to try to force this one to continue this series to go into a 7th game. Philadelphia at home in this series, averaging 119 points per 100 possessions. They are hitting with about a +4 net rating, and their Knicks shooting just over 43%. The Sixers have been a pretty good home favorite this year, 23-13 as a home favorite. There is some momentum coming off yesterday's win. We know the situation there with Embiid. Obviously, he's got that questionable tag, but I just have to think that in this spot, it's he'll be in. I would just believe he would be in the lineup in this spot here. And the Sixers looking to survive. They got a survival game here. And we'll look at that spot here with the Sixers laying the 3. All right, guys, over at Pick Dodge Premium, guys, best bet on the board right now. So get on board. My long-term pass, 3-7, 30-day all sports pass. Get all my premium plays. For that time period, just select when you go to my handicapper page, make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. All right, let's get back to the chat pick of the day. If we would here, this is the last chance here to get in on this chat pick of the day. Guardians plus 120, Astros minus 130, and we will close it in a little bit. Let's get to the recap. All right, Alex was on the Bruins minus 121. Big up McMordie, Pacers lay the 6. Tony Brown on Knicks, 76ers over 202. We got Millz on Kyle Barajo, inside the distance, minus 120. Wayne on Canelo via decision. That's Wayne. Canelo via decision, minus 135. I'll be on the Sixers here, laying the 3. I'll agree with Alex here on the Bruins to close it out. Big injury there for illness for the score here for the Maple Leafs. I'll agree with Alex today on the show on the pick. All right, so let's go ahead and close out the chat pick of the day here, guys. We're going to announce the chat pick of the day, and it is going to be today's chat pick of the day is the Guardians. The Guardians plus 120. We got 14 on the Guardians, 5 on the Astros, just 1 on the under. And we're going here with the chat pick of the day is going to be the Guardians. You guys got it in okay. So let's go. Now it's time to get your show picks into the chat, and then we'll read them off here as we close out the show. This is going to do it for this edition of the Drive-Thru. Guys, be sure to tune in again tomorrow live at 6 Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. We'll get out the plays in real time. I see a 15-game card from Major League Baseball. I believe there's NBA as well as NHL. So join us tomorrow. Remember, it always gets started with that morning show. We're live 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time with Mitch. We got Chris. We got Jay. We also have Mitch's 7 Picks in 5 Minutes. His Betting Tools Show. His roundtable discussion with professionals. Short series as well. Check out his latest video from Mitch about the books. You want to check that one out. Also, Jay's Jam Session NBA. Chris goes around the league from the NHL. Also, Rod Zawacki with his A to Z coverage with his NHL video series. We also have video series here from Millz, UFC, and his prop shop. You want to check that out. Wayne with his boxing video series. All Access with Big Al McMordie. Ron Romelli with his rundown from Major League Baseball. We also have Nerfies and Yerfies here from Brad Francis. Prop. Also the shorts with Jovan with his parlays. You want to check that one out. Costi, All Access. Contrarian against the public betting here with Dana Lane, of course, Contrarian Sharp Plays here from Brian Bittler and more, guys. So make sure you like and subscribe. Set notifications. You're live with us. Get the plays in real time. All right, we already told you about the chat pick of the day. Let's get to your show picks. We got Rich 87 likes the Guardians. Safest bet for tonight's MLB. Sixers -3 from Blake. Sixers from Ron Crawford. We've got, what else? Sixers from Ricky Patel. Canelo, yeah, money bag from Fernando in there. Yeah, it's a big favorite there for Canelo. Let's see, what else do we have here? Rich 87. Let's see what we've got here. Winning wager, Boston Bruins money line to close the series tonight. That's from the winning wager coming in with his pick tonight. Let's see what we've got here. Continue to check them out here. Any more? Why does, yeah, that's right. Why does B always go to, why does it go to B? That's a good question. All right. We also have April Montgomery, the show pick. She likes the Sixers as well, -3. Chris White Thunder, his show pick is the Bruins. And of course, J-Man, Canelo all the way. Sean Murray coming in, Giuseppe coming in with the Guardians. Guardians getting a lot of coverage even after we've closed the chat pick of the day. Still Guardians action coming in. That's their show pick. Guardians, Bruins, White Thunder. We've got, what else we have coming in here? Let's see if there's any more before we close out the show. I think we have got there. Last call. I'm going to do the last refresh, and then we close it out. Nick's money line from Sean Murray. That will do it here for the show picks. All right, that's to do it for the show, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's go ahead and bring in our crew from tonight. We'll wave goodbye to you guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. We'll catch up with